Hello dear YouTubing friends and family, and welcome to this new video, which is DCS World Spitfire in VR. Now, I recently upgraded my computer from 8GB of RAM to 16GB of RAM, and this is one of the VR titles I wanted to try when I upgraded my RAM. And I'm glad to say it works like a dream. Absolute dream. Let's just get up in the air. There we are. Not the best takeoff, but it's okay. The Spitfire's a bit of a beast to fly, especially takeoff and landings. I'm going to put it right on the line now and say this is the best VR flight experience and simulators I've played in VR to this date. I just bought Aerofly 2, I'm still downloading that, so the jury's still out on that. But so far, this is absolutely incredible. You've heard this said before, and I'm going to repeat it again. If you're watching this on a 2D monitor, you're not getting the same experience as you do when you're playing this in VR. The best way I can describe it, and I've heard this being described this way before, is that you actually feel it in flight simulators in VR. You feel it in the pit of your stomach. You feel like you are in the aircraft, and it just gives you that sensation right in the pit of your stomach that you are flying in VR. That you are actually flying, rather. That's the best way I can describe it. If you've not tried VR and you're into flight simulators, go and try a VR flight simulator, maybe around at your friends or a trade show or in your local gaming shop if they do it. It really does take your breath away, and it really does give you an amazing sensation of flight. And like I say, you're not going to see that on a 2D monitor, but it really does give you an incredible sensation of flight, an incredible feeling. And this is the best I've tried so far. I love playing the I love flying the Spitfire. I'm going to link you to my original Spitfire video, which I did use in the D-Line clip. It's like a track IR clip that I play on an ordinary 2D monitor, but you can look left and right and up and down naturally. That's an incredible experience, and that's a great way to fly the Spitfire. But in VR, this is absolutely the best way that gives you the best sensation. It's one of the best computer-related experiences overall ever I've had. It ranks in my top 10 all-time best experiences. It's that good. Now, another thing to say, yes, I've upgraded my RAM to 16GB, but if you look at my channel page and on my About tab, I've got my computer specs listed on there. I'm running basically right at the lower end of what's recommended for VR. I'm using a Ryzen 3 1200 chip. Yes, I've overclocked it to 3.8. But it's one of the cheaper, one of the lower Ryzen chips. I really need to upgrade that soon. I'm only using a 1066GB, so that's right at the lower end of what's recommended for VR. Yet this does an incredible job. It's for the but mainly it's very smooth flying. You get the odd jitter now and again, but that's to be expected for my system. But generally, 99% of the time, it's absolutely smooth, and it gives you an incredible experience. I've got all settings set to medium. The only thing I've changed is the shadows. I put shadows on low, so I get some shadows in the cockpit. You can probably see that. And I've set the VR multiplier on the VR tab to 1.5. And what that does, it gives you crystal clear readings of the dials. That was one of my biggest fears, that the dials will be unreadable. But they're actually clearer to read in VR than they are when I play it on a 2D monitor. crystal clear readings of the dials. The only downside is that you don't have any accessibility to your keyboard when you're flying in VR. It's very difficult to see your keyboard unless you lift your headset. So you've got to map all the control surfaces, things like the landing gear, flaps. You've got to map it all to your HOTAS stick. Thankfully with the Spitfire there's not too many controls to map to a HOTAS, so you can do that very easily. And I've mapped all the controls that I need to my HOTAS 4, which is a pretty cheap HOTAS stick, but I was still able to do it. What I'm going to do here now is come in for a landing. Just get lined up properly. One of the things I will say, it's a lot easier specifically landing the Spitfire in VR than it is using a 2D monitor. Oh, sorry, than it is using the normal monitor. In VR, you can poke your heads around the side of the cockpit to see that you're properly lined up. It's just a lot easier to land generally. You just get a better field of view in VR as well. So landing's much easier, but it's never easy landing the Spitfire anyway. I'm still practicing landings in a Spitfire. Not the easiest aircraft to land. Let's see what I can do here. My speed's okay, I'm just really getting a feel for the aircraft. I'm actually just feeling whether it's behaving correctly. It seems to be okay, so I'm just lining up very easily in VR over the runway. There you can see, I just pop my head around the side to see I'm still lined up. Coming in a bit lower, yeah, I'm just on the runway threshold, so I'm okay. Let's see what happens. Oh, my wing tilted. This is one of the difficulties. The undercarriage is right at the back of the aircraft, so you've got to flare pretty high. I've not damaged the wing, it's okay. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, guys. I'll see you next time.